Why do elite athletes always seem insanely confident? What is the secret to perform with complete conviction, even when having to carry the weight of expectations on their shoulders from millions of fans? Well, as a mental performance coach to professional athletes, I've learned that the very best don't always rely on conventional wisdom to boost their performance. Instead, they're masters of experimentation when it comes to gaining a mental edge. They're always open to trying the weird and unconventional things that trick their brains into feeling more assured, more focused, and ultimately more confident. And so in this video, I'm going to share 5 unusual methods that top athletes swear by in order to perform with unshakable confidence. Keep an open mind because some are strange and others outright crazy. But if you're wanting to perform to the best of your ability every time it matters most, then every single one of these is at least worth a try. So let's get started. In the summer of 2020, after a 3-month pause due to the pandemic, the Premier League resumed, and it wasn't just the football on display that got fans excited. Lockdown hair gave a lot of joy to the fans on social media, given it was so rare to see these usually fresh trimmed athletes looking more rugged than usual. But some players couldn't bear having to play without a fresh lid, with Newcastle United's Joe Linton being fined for an illegal visit to his barber's garage. And today it's widely known that most players in the Premier League get a haircut before every single match. So the first unconventional thing athletes should do to boost their performance is get a game day trim. In psychology, there is a theory known as the self-perception theory. Basically argues that individuals observe their own behavior and infer their internal feelings and attitudes from those observations. In other words, the actions you take impact how you feel about yourself, and this in turn shapes your future behavior. In the context of athletic performance, if an athlete perceives themselves to look good, such as improving their physical appearance through good grooming habits like getting a haircut, they may also perceive themselves as more confident and capable, leading to improved performance on the field or court. It's simple, but we've all felt this idea at some point, even if it doesn't make any logical sense. We think to ourselves, if I look good, then I'll feel good and I'll play good, even though the connection is tenuous at best. And this also doesn't just have to be through getting a trim. I've worked with female athletes in the past who, as part of their pre-game preparations, put on makeup. One of my athletes even calls this her game face. And a key distinction I want you to make here is that you don't want to do this to look good for others. And I'm fully aware that, particularly for female athletes, there's unfortunately too much attention that's placed upon physical appearance rather than athletic ability by fans and other people in the industry. But as long as you're enhancing your appearance for yourself first and foremost, that's something to embrace. It's the same in a job interview. You do your hair nice, you put on a freshly ironed shirt and you polish your shoes. This gives you a boost in confidence. There's no denying that. It's not about being vain and image obsessed. It's about giving yourself the assurance that you look like someone who can get the job done. So get your hair cut, put the lip gloss on, or trim your beard, whatever makes you feel good about yourself. One other thing in this space that often goes unnoticed is your skincare. So that's why I'm delighted that T. Chanley has kindly sponsored today's video. They simplify the entire process of taking care of your skin, which is super important for athletes whose skin is constantly being bombarded with dirt, sweat, and harsh weather conditions. To boost your game day confidence, I recommend that you start with their level 1 system, which comes with absolutely everything that you need in order to get up and running. A daily face wash to get rid of all the dirt and grime that builds up on your skin from pushing yourself to the limit each game. An exfoliating scrub to get rid of all the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 to protect your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated throughout the night. Getting down with this routine will bring your confidence way up before big games. I know that for me, if I feel fresh in the face, I feel ready to get out there and perform my best. And my favorite part about T. Chanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that gives you the blueprint on how to execute the perfect skincare game plan. Their products have made my skin look and feel better than ever, but you don't just have to take my word for it. They have over 10,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from all around the world. This isn't something you want to put off because prevention is key. Just like your favorite athletes take a proactive approach to recovery to prolong their careers, you need to take a proactive approach to taking care of your skin before any signs of damage and aging emerge. And because T. Chanley is sponsoring this video, they are offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description to get 40% off your first skincare system and a free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll also get 20% off for life. One of their new gift options is this awesome silicone body scrubber, which has a $20 value and is a complete game changer. Once you use one of these, you'll never go back to using a regular loofah ever again. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to get your skin ready for game day. And so for thing number 2, take a moment to watch this recent clip of a very excited Declan Rice.
Have 4 pancakes now before games.
4 pancakes.
4 pancakes
Okay.
covered in syrup
Yeah.
or honey, and I swear to God, it has been the best thing probably I've
again?
changed this season.
Seriously?
I'm not even lying to you. I don't know what's in them or what it even gives. It just gives you such a high energy boost, and I think that's how I'm just able to rat around the pitch. I think pancakes is the key to me now.
Pancakes,
yeah, 100%. Pancakes before games. Sometimes I'm having 8 though. Like if we're playing like 5:30, I'll have some at breakfast and I'll have some at like 3:30 before we play.
It seems that Declan Rice has stumbled upon one of the most simplest but also most effective performance enhancers for athletes, and that's your lucky meal. Eating a lucky meal before a game isn't just about filling up on carbs, it's about the psychological benefits of familiarity and routine. When an athlete consumes a meal that they associate with success or energy, it triggers a sense of stability and confidence. During his West Ham days, Declan Rice would always eat rice and fish before games, which is also another great pre-match meal to have. And nutritionally, there's not a massive difference in his meal choices, apart from taking out the protein of no longer having fish. So it doesn't really matter what the actual meal is. The only thing that matters is that you have 100% control over what you're consuming. Because in preparation before matches or events, it's natural to have some pre-match anxiety and a touch of nerves. Because you're building up to something where there are a lot of things that you don't actually control. Things like the weather, bad referee decisions, or how well your opponents play on the day. And so the lucky meal is something that can settle those nerves. It provides comfort and familiarity, a key thing for you to tick off in order to prepare for the unknown. I myself as a runner always eat bagels before the morning of races. And I even skip the free breakfast buffets at hotels when I travel for races because they don't typically have bagels. Instead, I bring my own bagels from home and then chow them down in my room. If I just ate toast from the breakfast buffet instead, I'd still be receiving the same number of carbs and energy, but it's the psychological comfort that comes with something so familiar. It's stupid, but again, it's about giving yourself any form of confidence boost. So next up is one unusual thing that actually has some decent science behind it. So if you think about performing your best, other than confidence, what is it that you really need? Well, you need focus, the ability to lock in, to be super concentrated on the task at hand. And the only thing that fuels those things is energy. But sometimes we feel groggy for an afternoon game where the afternoon slump has set in, or we feel completely exhausted by the time an evening game rolls around. So what can be done to combat this? Well, an increasing amount of athletes are turning to caffeine naps. The premise is simple. Consume a cup of coffee or another caffeinated beverage and then immediately take a short nap, typically of around 20 minutes. During this short nap, the caffeine starts to take effect, gradually blocking adenosine, a neurotransmitter that promotes sleepiness. So by the time you wake up, the caffeine is properly kicked in, leaving you feel refreshed and alert. And if you think about it, caffeine naps actually offer the best of both worlds. The restorative benefits of a nap combined with the alertness boost of caffeine having its impact at just the right time. And this combination can be especially beneficial for athletes as it helps combat fatigue, enhances cognitive function, reaction times, and overall performance. So to use this one, I suggest a few key steps. 1, prepare your coffee and a nap space, ideally somewhere dark or where you can block off light. 2, drink your coffee quickly. You almost want to down it, no leisurely slipping a big one over the course of 30 or 40 minutes. A shot of espresso is probably best. 3, instantly lie down and take your nap. Set a timer for 20 to 25 minutes. And then 4, wake up when the timer goes off. Because any longer than this time frame can actually produce feelings of sluggishness and grogginess. Just think of all those longer naps that you've maybe sometimes had that actually make you feel even more tired than before you had it. And that's it, simple. Ideally do this as late as possible before you have to leave for your performance or get warmed up. But I get it, sometimes even with a surge of energy, we can find it difficult to perform our best. We may find it difficult to fully care about the upcoming performance because look, we've all had those days where we just feel a bit off it. What can you do in those situations? Well, I suggest taking a leaf out of Michael Jordan's book. If you've ever watched the Last Dance documentary, you'll know that Jordan took a lot of stuff personally. Whether it was a comment from an opponent or some other perceived slight, he would use these to ignite his intensity out on the court. What he became a master of was blowing things way out of proportion in his own head. He would always engage in the psychological trick of creating enemies. By deliberately convincing himself that others didn't rate him or had insulted him, Jordan could tap into a powerful source of motivation, anger, and the desire to prove his detractors wrong. Psychologically, having an enemy can increase effort and focus in athletic endeavors. When athletes perceive a threat from someone who is either insulting them or is claiming to be more dominant than them, the body responds with increased adrenaline, creating a new surge of focus and energy that's necessary for peak performance. This was also seen with Kobe Bryant, who created a kill list of 56 players that were ranked higher than him in the national high school basketball rankings when he was just 14. He would study that list, and every time he came up against one of those players, he made it his duty to destroy the other kid, as if to say it was almost an insult for Kobe to be ranked lower. And athletes in any sport, not just basketball, can harness the power of creating a make-believe enemy in order to boost their performance. And here's how you can do it. 1, identify a trigger. Think of a past comment or action that made you feel underestimated or disrespected, even if it was minor or unintentional. Things like a coach saying you'll never make it, or a teammate saying you're trash. Something that got to you at the time and fueled a bit of anger. Then 2 is amplify the emotion. In your mind, deliberately focus on that feeling of being challenged or insulted. Let it simmer and grow inside you, just as Jordan did. You may want to think of other things that the person may believe about you. So if they think you're trash, what specifically do they not rate about you in terms of skills, traits, or characteristics of your game? Then 3 is channel the energy. Use that emotional charge to fuel your intensity during training or competition. Before you go out to play or perform, visualize the things that would represent you proving your enemy wrong. Things like dunking on them or giving them a little shush celebration after you score. What things would show that they made a mistake in doubting you? Lock your mind onto that and feel the pride of proving them wrong. And the last bonus thing is to keep it controlled. You need to ensure this technique motivates you positively without leading to negative behaviors or attitudes. You don't want to become an absolute loose cannon or let it distract you from the bigger picture of winning or doing your job properly. It's about enhancing your focus and drive, not creating actual animosity where you want to beat the shit out of someone. So be mindful of how far you take this one. And this one can take some work and imagination, so if you want a quicker and more simple fix, then you may want to try the final unusual performance enhancer. And this is Sniff to Success. So you may know in some sports like American football that players just before going out will use smelling salts. These are used to jolt athletes into peak alertness. The strong pungent aroma triggers the body's fight or flight response, increasing heart rate and adrenaline levels, providing a quick boost of energy and focus. How they work is that the ammonia in smelling salts irritates the nasal membranes, leading to an involuntary inhalation reflex. This sharp intake of breath increases oxygen flow and stimulates the brain, helping athletes feel more awake and ready for action. Their original purpose is to revive people who fainted, and there's not really good scientific evidence for them actually boosting athletic performance. Again, it's more placebo, but if athletes feel it gives them a boost, then that can be enough to carry a little bit more confidence into their game. These should only, however, be used under the guidance of a health professional because improper use of these can be dangerous. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it, and instead, I think a safer thing to use is more generally the practice of aromatherapy. Again, strong scientific evidence for its effectiveness is lacking, and again, I think a lot of it is placebo. But in sports that need precision and calm, like archery or gymnastics, aromatherapy does offer many athletes an edge by their own admission. Essential oils such as lavender and peppermint are popular choices. Lavender is known for its calming properties, which is believed by some to help reduce anxiety and promote relaxation, while peppermint supposedly can enhance focus and mental clarity. So the main premise is that by inhaling these scents, athletes can modulate their arousal levels to either calm their nerves or sharpen their concentration. Again, just like all the other things we've spoken about in this video, it's not the things themselves that give you a confidence boost and therefore a performance boost. It's actually the belief in their effectiveness. Even if you are kidding yourself into believing that these things are a secret weapon for you to perform at a higher standard, then you could still argue it's worth trying them out. So which of these 5 things are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks again to my friends at T-Chanley for supporting the channel. Remember to check out the first link in the description for your first skincare system, and I'll see you in the next one.